Hello, this is an overview of the nice Nexidia Customer Journey Optimization solution. What we're looking at here is this visual representation of our customers' omni-channel and cross-channel journey as they do business with us. So what we see here are a number of different channels. They're all color coordinated, where we have web, we have mobile application, voice, retail, etc. Any really way that a customer is interacting with your business can be visualized and displayed here on this visualization and visual mapping tool. Another area that we often see on here are onboarding events or customer churn events, where we can look at journeys that lead to churn, for example, and really understanding what's driving that negative behavior and then reduce that. The thickness of each line between these different journey points represents the percentage of customers going down different paths. So in this case, I can see that the customers in the web channel are sticking to our web channel much more often than they are dropping off to other channels, which is great. And in fact, going from web to mobile app, that's okay too. They're still staying on a digital channel. And web to voice, this is where I start to see some problem, where my customers are online, but they're dropping off and going into my voice channel, which is a degraded customer experience and costing me additional money. Not something I want to see happening. I'd like to dig into that a little bit more. When we look at customer journey as a whole, obviously we're bringing this data set from all the different interaction points, but there's a couple other really important data points that we'd like to bring together as well. Number one is customer attribute data. So different segmentations. Who are my customers? How long have they been a customer? How old are they? Where do they live? How many products do they have? Right? Any segmentation, any value that's really important for us to do that analytics and to understand our customers by and customer behaviors by, we'd like to consume in this solution and be able to filter by that. And we'll see some of that today as we walk through. We also like to bring in sentiment score or NPS, understanding what journeys are leading to positive or negative sentiment or positive or negative NPS. So the CSAT scores from customer surveys or from an interaction analytics or speech analytics solution as well. Really important to us is bringing in customer intent. So not only what are our customers doing, but what are they trying to do? What is the purpose of their journey with us? And that's really important. So we'll be digging into this in a minute as well and taking a look under the scenes at what that looks like. Just a little bit of the lay of the land here. Really important part of the solution up here is the journey duration. So right now we're looking at journeys that are 2 days in length, and I can change that to a certain number of days, certain number of hours, or weeks. So I can be really flexible with my journey duration based on what my customers are trying to do, how long it should take for my customers to achieve successfully that type of journey, like onboarding or paying a bill or getting technical support. And I can look at how those journeys are compared to what they should be. So I have a lot of flexibility there. Now, I mentioned earlier that this web to voice is really important, and that's great, a great place for me to start, and I can dig in there. But I'd really like the solution to help me understand where are some real problem areas that might be even more impactful than that. So we have developed what's called a Journey Excellence Score. Now, Journey Excellence Score is utilizing machine learning to apply a score from 1 to 100. The lower the score, the more problematic your journey is, the more assistance it may need to be turned around. And so here we look at our overall total Journey Excellence Score, or JESS score for short, is 56. And we have these different business processes of complaints, where it's pretty low at 45, technical support, account management, etc. And a business process is really being calculated, again, utilizing machine learning by understanding how many customers are going down this process, how many channels are they using, how much time are they spending in each channel, are they successful, right? All these metrics that are really important to us to understand the success rate of a journey are being calculated and creating these journey scores so we can understand where we can impact our customer experience and our bottom line. So I've highlighted this complaints area with this very low Journey Excellence score, and I see the trend of how we're doing, daily trend over here, day by day. But the really important part is these recommended investigations, where here I can see what are the actual steps my customers are doing and what's the intent? What are they trying to do when they do business with us? And so here, the number one recommended investigation area for me is to look at customers who are online for billing information, and then they pick up the phone and they speak to an agent and they're complaining. That's a really big problem area for me, something I want to take a look at. So my customers are going online and trying to do something around billing, and then they end up calling me complaining, really frustrated, right? This is a pretty common occurrence. Let's take a look into that. So I can redesign this scenario. I've also done this ahead of time here, so we have the ability to save numerous scenarios and reference them for analytics over time. So I'm going to bring up one that I've saved, and then I'll show you how we built it. And we'll go back to the visualization piece. And now I'm looking at that digital containment complaint scenario. And if I bring down my editor here, this is what I've saved ahead of time, but I can see that I've created a two-step process where customers are going online for billing and payment and billing information, and then calling me for complaints. It's very easy to build these out. You can see we have the different number of steps that we can add into, or channels we can add into a step rather. I have all the different attributes we've talked about before that I can bring in here as well. So let me look at customers who are just from 18 to 25 or 65 plus, customers who have been with us for 30 days or 5 years. And also that contact reasons, where right now we're looking at complaints, but I can bring in those intents from all the different areas here. So I can build a scenario very specific to what I want, and then I can do further and deeper analysis to uncover what's really going on here and what's causing these different components to happen. So now we're looking at this visualization. It looks very different to us because we have a very specific scenario we're looking at. But I really want to dive in and understand what's happening behind the scenes, what's causing it. Tell me more about these journeys where customers are going online and then calling and complaining. So let's look at my scenario results. So right now we have about 3.5 million total customers that are going online, and about 0.5%, a little bit less than that, 13,000 of those are calling and complaining this month. So that's a big enough number where I'm concerned about it. I want to do something more. So I have a number of areas that I can dive into, and we're going to walk through these 4 here for the rest of the demonstration today. The first one is, well, tell me what my top journeys are. I know people are going online, and then I know they're calling me. Well, what's the number 1 journey? What's the number 2 most common journey? So I can see here that they're going from web to voice, voice, web. Well, if I call and I complain and I get an explanation or I get a credit or whatever it might be, I'm probably going to go back online and take a look and see what's happening there. Right, so we can see what the top journeys are. We also have the ability to layer in different information on top of that. So I can layer in different attributes, such as customer seniority is one we've referenced before. How long have my customers been with us? Well, those that are with us for 1 to 2 years and 2 to 3 years are a little bit more likely to be complaining than those who are 3 to 4 years. Right? We see the distribution. We can look at it by the top 10 as well. So just from a visualization perspective, this is something that's a really nice area for us to be able to look at and layer on top of us and say, okay, what are my customer seniority? What are my ages? What about my West versus East Coast? Or certain product holdings, certain marketing campaigns that's driving value or driving negative value even by not expecting increased call volume, but guess what? They complained after they got a certain marketing campaign. We can look at all that different information. And those little data layers are very, very powerful on top of the journeys here as well as throughout the different solutions. So now we know we have an issue. We know what our top journeys look like. And it's great that they're picking up the phone and calling. And it's great that they are talking about or looking for billing information. But what specifically are they doing? What web pages are a problem? Is it my invoicing system? Or is it some sort of confusing language I have somewhere? Well, we can dig into that as well. So I have an area of our solution called Digital Containment where we can zoom in to the web channel and say what were the actual page-by-page URL level views my customers were going through before they picked up the phone, they complained, and they called my contact center. So I can see the top journey view again here of the number 1 top journey. Customers going to the home page, going to their account and logging in, looking at their bills by phone number, looking at the breakdown of bills, transactions, and eventually extra payments. Okay, another group trying to pay their bill and then going to contact us. So I can look at this in this holistic way. I can look at the most viewed pages, but really most powerful to me are these last viewed pages. So when a customer goes online and they have a issue and they're calling and complaining, what's the last page they looked at before they picked up the phone and they called me? Technical support and contact us makes sense, but extra payments, how to read my bill, bill breakdown. These are areas that are giving me information that there's something around our extra payments that are not explained well in the bill, and we need to really break that down for them better, really help them understand what's happening to reduce those calls coming to my contact center. So we see this information bubbling up to us that really helps us improve our system, improve our customer experience, reduce costs. By seeing these areas bubble up to the surface for us, I'm not spending hours and weeks and months digging through, log after log after export looking for this information. It's here at my fingertips. So now we know the top journeys. Now we know the actual web pages. We know sort of what's happening. Well, let's learn more about our customers that are going down this path. This is one of my favorite parts of the solution because we really get to start to see the information that's really powerful of what's causing customers to go down this path versus those that don't. So for example, those that have an extra payment amount of between $21 and $99 are really likely to pick up the phone and call us and complain. Very impactful in this journey. If I flip this upside down, the shorter line means not as impactful. And look, there's a $613 credit. So if I have a $613 credit when I go look at my account, I'm less likely to pick up the phone and complain about that because either I was expecting it and I'm happy, or I wasn't and I'm really happy. So I'm much less likely to call and complain. We can also look at customer seniority, another one that popped up again. Our 2 to 3 year, 1 to 2 year customers are not very happy with this scenario. The 18 to 19 year, 17, 18 year, there's 8 to 9 months out here, but otherwise it's really senior customers that are probably used to our billing practices, and they're not calling and complaining as much, probably because they're really used to what's happening. In this space, you can imagine this being product type, but here we have offer type. Our international package and standard package are performing really well. People aren't complaining about that. But I flip that around, our data package and our unlimited, our quote-unquote unlimited package, right, that we all have, well, there's a lot of extra payments happening here. That's a lot of complaints we're not happy about. So again, we see that the web level data, the attribute and customer level data that comes through here, we can really see what's driving, what's impacting this negative customer experience. And now I have targeted and specific insights and information to go and take to my management team, my leadership team, and impact my operation and see that bottom line change because this is just bubbling up to the surface and available to me. The last thing I'll showcase here today is the word cloud. So we talked earlier about those attributes and Nexidia interaction analytics and sentiment that we can bring across from there. Well, we can also bring specific phrases across from Nexidia interaction analytics. And so what I mean by that is when my customer goes online and they're working for billing information, and then they call and they complain, they get to an agent. What are they talking about? Well, here are the phrases that are actually being said on those phone calls where I can see what's happening, see what people are not happy about. And now I can understand all the way through from the holistic journey, from all the different touch points, all the interaction points they have, through to speaking with me at the agent level. What are we talking about? What's happening here? And I don't have this within my demo today, but imagine, if you will, that we're able to click on a phrase here, and we can do this in production environment, where I can click on a certain phrase, and it'll bring me into the Nexidia Interaction Analytics and allow me to listen to the calls where these specific phrases were being spoken about and were being said, and now tie that all together into really one nice interface where we can follow that journey all the way through to actually listening to the call after seeing the holistic journey and omni-channel journey that the customers went through. So that's an overview of the customer journey optimization solution at Nexidia. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much.